Yo, what is on, guys? Welcome back to Izzy's Room, the room where it all goes down. If you are not subscribed, following, all that good stuff on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, literally every single platform, 10 million, right, views on everything. Yeah, right? Point at that. 10 million in the last weekish alone. So you can be one of them. Follow us along on the journey. But yeah, let's go ahead and get right into it. In today's episode, I am featuring the one, the only, I brought you on a couple times, bro. I know, right? I brought you on a couple times, but we have the Terrance the Hypnotist. Man, there's so much I could say, but I want to start off with a little story really quick. So Thanksgiving passed, right, as everybody knows. So I get a message from you. We tried to facilitate like an episode, but it just wasn't working between you and someone else. I just couldn't get the times down. But you invite me over to like your Friendsgiving. I'm like, okay, cool. Like I come over and I bring
your friend.
Yeah, I was gonna say date, but we're not gonna get. we'll go with friend for sure. I like that. But I bring my my friend with me, and y'all had like a whole. It was crazy, man. First off, bro, I did not expect that much people. I saw all the cars, and I was like, this is all. This is all like for Terrance's, like, this Friendsgiving.
Right.
And anyways, we go in, y'all have like food everywhere. And you're like, oh, you see that guy right there? He's running for president. And I was like, wait, what? It's like, here I am, like thinking that I'm gonna just eat some like turkey, right? And then you're like, no, the dude right there, he's running for president.
Right.
And he comes over and I'm like, a president of what? Like, I didn't know. I was like, a book
Boys and Girls Club?
Yeah. I was like, the book club? Like, I don't know. But sure enough, the man gives a whole presidential speech. We'll flash it up right now. But he gave like a whole presidential speech. Oh, bro, it was crazy. Like, I talk about it with Presley, or really he said it. He's like, Terrance is very good at, what would you say? Cultivating like people and like a ton of different people into a group, like, but like around him, and like such a, not meticulous, like a calculated way, but in a good, it's like a positive,
Yes.
I think you're intentional about who you put around you. And I don't know, just like the people you introduced me to, you like introduced me one by one to everybody, And I was like, how I look at that, I was like, he wants to like kick any awkwardness out the window, but also wants to set up connections, And I don't know, dude, it's really interesting. I'm like eating my turkey, and I'm like, this dude's running for president, giving me a speech, like while I'm,
Right.
It's crazy, man. But first off, if you have any words, go ahead, man, and interject them. But are you, the people you keep around you, right? It's like in a very intentional way. I feel like it's a way to like help you grow as a person. Would you say it's accurate or not accurate?
Extremely accurate, yeah.
Yeah.
First of all, thank you for having me on the show.
For sure. Zoom in on that handshake. Get that.
Right? Like the whole Thor handshake.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, definitely intentional. But a lot of times it's really just by accident, and it's just by like being genuine. I guess like whatever, like the person that I am. Whenever you just authentically put that out there, you are going to get back like what you're like feeling, and so I mean that's how I like met you.
I do want to talk about that. Like, You're really good about culminating like all of the people around you, like for a very intentional purpose.
Thank you.
For sure. What in your like past or present, what was like that cutoff? Like, what was the point where you realized like maybe I need to not let like the wrong figures or individuals around you?
That's a good question. Before I answer what was that cutoff, I'll definitely say that when I just take genuine interest in people, and then once I admire something about them, then that'll like really make me want to be their friend. As we take a really deep look into ourselves and we look at what we like and what we don't like, I just noticed there was a genuine part of me that wanted to connect. However, I wouldn't really put my full self out there. And so because I saw that in myself, I would just see it in others, and so it had me be like, all right, why do I keep having this happen? And so then from there, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna like authentically just be me, And so when I see someone is not doing that, I'll still connect with them, but I'm not hit them up as much.
Dude, I noticed you talk about like people that you can't be vulnerable around, or people that can't be vulnerable around you.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't like, like I had like one friend I introduced it to, and you immediately like, no, like, I don't like that. I was like, but I get it, like I get that viewpoint, like, unauthentic in a way, but I feel like everybody to some degree has like I don't want to say a mask, but everybody to some degree doesn't, maybe is not like fully outwards with like how they feel about certain things. And you see it all the time. And again, let me mind y'all, he's very intentional about who he puts himself around. I'm talking, I don't know, man. It's crazy. Every time you introduce me to someone, they have like some title to them. You're like, this isn't just like, oh, this is Billy. This is like, oh, this is Billy who owns like the modeling agency that I'm like, but I
great guy.
I agree with that. I don't think you have to ever use people to like get one up, but I think the people you put around you is extremely important, bro. Like if you put, I said it before, and I don't want to like label anybody, but if you put bums around you, like, like how can you grow up to the next level? You get what I'm saying?
You can't.
Yeah.
100%. And maybe to elaborate a little bit better and more clearer earlier, I would say what the filter really for me is the emotional availability, because you are completely right. Like we all have the insecurities and the like mask, right? And so no one can really be 1000% authentic, right? We can only try our best. So for me, it's like the emotional availability. If someone is not emotionally available to me, maybe they're having a bad day. Even when I see them in that social interaction, I'll try 3 times, right?
Yeah.
However, after that 4th time, I'm done. And if I see them again and it's, maybe we're just not vibing, and that's totally fine. I would say it's the emotional availability, because it's so true. Like everyone goes through stuff, and no one is just going to be just supremely confident all the time.
For sure, dude. For sure. Nah, bro. Like I talk about it all the time. Like, people would like look at myself, and I got this DM on Instagram the other day from one of my videos, and I get a lot, but I don't check them for a lot of reasons. But
you get a lot of DMs. Come on now. We see the page.
Pop them up. No, I'm kidding.
Right.
All the thirst traps. No. I got a DM the other day that was like, dude, like your videos show me that I can be more confident. And you would think, because what I tell people is I try to be both sides of the coin. Like my whole existence isn't always like improving myself, my mental health, etc. But I definitely make a conscious effort to. And that's anything, like going to the gym, putting yourself around the right people, like having passions, having hobbies, having just a goal to work towards. I think humans crave structure whether they know it or not.
Yeah.
But I think the videos I put out try to be both sides of the coin. I have all of that going on the podcast, but then you flip the coin and the backside is like the entertainment, is like the, he's still like trying, like, he's still putting on this like Chad energy and doing this, that, but it's all intentional. And and I got a DM and it was like, dude, your videos show me like that I can be more of like a confident person. And I don't know, I like just stared at it for a while. And it's not just, I think we often forget, like in digital media, like these are like other human beings, like other actual like legit humans. And if someone's telling you, like if someone's telling you, hey, you're helping me become a confident dude, that to me is crazy. Like watching your video makes me be able to just like want to go out and talk to who I want to go out and talk to.
Bro, how'd that make you feel? Like deeply?
Man, I don't know. At first, it's just like, it's just a message. But then I really like soaked in it. And I was like, this is like a normal dude. I clicked on his page. I went to my other account before I did this, but I clicked on his page and I like viewed his page and scrolled through and saw all his pictures. And, you see someone's whole life right there. And I was like, this dude's literally reaching out to me saying like, I think it made me feel like it's not just me, other people are seeing it and other people are enjoying it. So I think that's where, and I tell Presley, I'm like, I don't I love creating the content and everything, but I don't particularly find like a heartfelt, not in the interviews at least. But I know other people enjoy it, and that makes me gives me like a purpose, and I enjoy that. I love other people digesting what I'm putting out, I honestly, bro. Well, that was a lot.
I love that. That's really how it should be too, bro. I love that. There's gonna be so more to come for you, man.
I appreciate
this
you.
This is just the beginning, seriously.
Dude,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I think everybody needs like Joe Rogan said it. He was like, do something, like do something. Read a book, meditate, like do something.
Right.
Like I don't know. I think people need like a goal to work towards.
Yeah.
And this brings me into like another point. College, bro. College.
I want to talk about college. Yes.
Yeah. Oh man. Let's. For those of you who didn't know, like I have like my whole college paid for me, so I'm like, why not go? Like like why not? Like why not go on the side?
That's so awesome. Why not go?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, why not? And if I'm being perfectly honest with you, bro, I'm gonna be 100% honest. College is fucked. Like it is literally.
It's fucked,
dude. I don't think, unless you were going for a specific reason, unless you were going to utilize that degree for something very, 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 very specific, if you're just going to go and like you're going to become like some, I don't know, drama or like liberal arts or a major like that, and you have no idea. Yeah, I know, right? You're not going to get a job. It's that simple. Or you're going to get one that your degree just doesn't apply towards,
I completely agree. I'm curious though, bro. Like, what do you enjoy about it though?
Enjoy about what, college?
Yeah.
I think it's just different. I think I'm like older than everybody else, and I've had a lot more experiences, especially after traveling to all those different places.
Right.
I think meeting people, I don't think you can ever get enough of that. I don't think there's ever enough of meeting like another human being.
Right.
And let me tell you, I mean, some of the females in there, oh my God.
That's what I've been waiting for.
Yeah. Let me tell you, bro. Oh my. And you know what the worst thing is? The worst thing is that these girls are like, oh, I have a boyfriend. I have like this, that. And yet they're still like, oh, let's go here. Let's go here. Like, oh, do you want to hang out sometime?
They can't help it.
Bro.
The discipline is imminent. You know what I mean? You've been traveling. You had these experiences. They got to choose up. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is.
Dude, that cracks me up. This dude I was talking to the other day, he said something so funny. He was like, women date. He said, women date up, men date down. And what he was saying was like a lot of the value. I was talking to him. I was like, who do you think holds like a majority of the value in a relationship? And a lot of people said like both parties.
Yeah.
But this one guy I talked to, he was like, it's whoever brings more to the table. There's like a dramatic pause. He's like, that's usually the man. Like, and he went into depth. What do you think about, I have a question. What do you think about like that? Like if you're providing like most in the relationship in terms of something tangible, I'm not talking about like being there for support. We're not talking about that. All right. I'm talking tangible. I'm paying rent. I'm paying this. I'm paying that. If you're the person, contributing the most tangible resources in a relationship, do you think like that puts you at a higher value, or that you should have a little more like say or authority in a relationship?
I would most certainly say yes. However, even if the lady or whoever has the most feminine energy in the relationship, even if they are giving more economic value, I still wouldn't put them number one. Because from my perspective, the masculine has to always be leading. You can have the most money in the entire world. You still want that emotional leadership. Like Oprah and King, whatever the guy's name is, like the man still has to be leading, or at least that masculine energy.
So do you think a relationship, like I'm not gonna say a relationship because that's way vague. Do you think a successful, a relationship that's set for like a successful course, do you think it requires one party. And to me, bro, if I'm being fully honest, I feel it's stupid I even have to ask this question. I feel like it's crazy even have to ask
It's crazy, right?
It's crazy because I know some people like don't particularly agree.
Right.
And that's why I'm phrasing it in this way of like, let me ask a question that I know the answer to, right?
Right.
But would you say, like, in a successful relationship, there has to be one side that's like the dominant, like the person who's the leader, making shit happen, who's gonna, fight to protect the other individual? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I completely get what you're saying. So I don't want to generalize it and say there has to be one alpha, there has to be one leader. But I would say the natural order of things and how it should work to be the most natural for both parties to be the most happy, there should be that one alpha dominant leader of that masculine male. However, just like yin and yang, there's the black side, there's the white side of the entire circle. Mm-hmm. The energies will even out. So say even if the man is more feminine, if you have that more masculine woman, they will work out. It's not my style. It can still work. So I wouldn't use the just say in general, all. However, that's how
it's like, however, that's usually.
That's how it really should be.
Yeah. Dude, I think it's so funny. It's so funny. There's this girl, right? And you met her. And it's
Thanksgiving?
Yeah. It's so funny, and whether she sees it or not, I think it's true. But a lot of the times, like, I notice she feels so many ways about certain things, right? But then when it comes down to it, she's still like, I want you to pick. I want you to, like, I want you to pick.
Bro.
I want you to, She's like, well, I want you to tell me, like, what to, like, do. And I'm trying to say this in a way, and not in any, like, I think in just like a fundamental, like, I think men, I mean, if you look throughout time, like the Roman Empire, the Ottoman Empire, throughout like any huge civilization, I mean, the men were the warriors fighting wars, etc. And I'll take a phrase from her, but she's like, I don't believe in an equal, quote unquote, society. I believe in equitable society. Those are words from her mouth.
Yeah.
She said, like, men are inherently better at certain things. Women are inherently better at certain things. I hold that to be true. I would feel some type of way if some dude was like maybe babysitting like my daughter. I'd probably more feel inclined to like hire like a woman.
Yeah.
And it's not like a general statement to say it's 100% true, but that's how I feel. I feel like
Yeah.
And men fight wars. There's a reason why even in the United States, who we take a ton of attributes from like the Roman Empire from, but even the United States like did not allow women on the front lines for a very, very, very long time. And even now it's still in a limited capacity. There's just, not to say any side's more incapable. I think a guy, babysitting my daughter is just as capable. Exactly. But I don't think it's as equitable. You get, or that's a big.
For what?
Yeah.
For what, bro? Go to work, dog.
You get what I'm saying, though? Like, I think, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think, like, down to the core of it, do you believe that, men and women are inherently better at different things? And not, I'm saying, should stick to roles. Not what I'm saying, but do you think that we'll word it like that. What's your opinion on that?
Yeah, my opinion on that is, masculine energy and feminine energy, they serve two different purposes. And, you can't have one without the other. Like, even the most manliest man ever, he has the feminine life inside of him. And so there's nothing wrong with it. It just so happens that masculine energy is about direction, It's about conquest. Feminine energy.
For sure.
You know what I mean? It's just about conserving, being nurturous, being ferocious, being, just being like wild and free. And so it is what it is. And there's actually nothing wrong with it. And when you trust that energy, like for an example, the girl that we were talking about from the party, you bring that out of her. Like if you were not that masculine individual, she would want to make her own choices.
I think
But instead, she flows. She follows that masculine direction. And she's happier that way.
Bro, let me tell you something. It's so crazy you say that because it's true. And I think a lot of people don't realize it. I think when right, like let's take a girl guy, right? Yeah. When they meet, someone who they feel like is like that right person, they bring out those qualities. You notice that men who meet, like, I'm gonna just put air quotes, like the right girl, right? Men who meet the right girl in some ways, right, take on, and this isn't all context, but I think naturally take on a little more like feminine characteristics. Just a little. I think they apply them in some ways, and I don't think that's a bad thing at all. I think sometimes when I'm with, like her, for an example, I think when I'm told something, rather than like my first response, because mind you, like I've usually for my majority of my life, I've surrounded myself with other dudes. And so my first response when I hear something I don't agree about, no, wrong. You know, like, this is how I feel. No, you're fucking stupid, you know? Like, that's how I feel. But I now take things more like, I don't know. I let them soak in a little more.
She's changing you.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Y'all heard it first.
Oh, God. Oh. In some way.
No.
In some way. And
I'm totally playing.
No, for sure.
I see what you mean.
But even like, this just sounds so crazy to say, bro. This sounds crazy to say. But even Presley, bro, like, it's the same dynamic in a way. Like, tends, you know, he brings a different light into a conversation.
Yeah.
And it makes me soak on things before I react a little more. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But you also notice, I want y'all to note this. When I first met her, she was absolutely not like how she is now. She was a lot more, I don't want to use aggressive as a word, but I'm going to go ahead and use it, you know? Like, she was more aggressive, more like abrasive on certain things. And now, like, she hits me up with like the he, you know? Like, it brings out like her like more of a feminine side. Yeah. And I notice it because she's like, I'm like, what do you want to eat? She's like, oh, you pick what we want to do. And even, let me tell you, I hope no one's downstairs, but they're about to get blessed with this. They're about to get blessed with this one. Right. But, no, but even in bed, dude, like, she's literally, like, tells me, like, you know, like, she makes jokes about it. I'll be cooking, and I'll be, like, cooking something with her, and I'll make, like, a joke, and she, like, starts to, she's like down. She's down to just like, you know, like, oh yeah, you can do whatever, you know, like, tell me what to do. Tell me.
That's wonderful, bro.
Yeah, bro. And
yeah,
it's but I do think that, like, when the right girl and right guy meet each other, again, air quotes, right, but two people that are good for each other, I think it brings out I think it brings out some feminine qualities in a dude. And it makes the girl way more submissive. And I think there's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing at all.
Nothing, bro. But also, that does peak, like, that alpha sense to the guy. I will say that because you nailed it, bro. When you said, like, if you weren't that type of dude, she wouldn't, you know? If you weren't that dude, like, she wouldn't make that, like, submissive change, you know? Right. It's like a balance. You know,
it has to be balanced. She must feel safe with you.
Yeah, that's a big thing, bro. Yeah, I think it is. In my opinion, like, if you really can't protect, like, the girl you're with, what the fuck are you doing? You know,
bro, your DMs are getting flooded right now. Yeah. let's clap for this man.
Big, yeah, I know, right? But it's like, what the fuck are you doing if you can't even, like, protect her, let alone yourself, you know?
Literally.
But, like, if you can't protect her, what are you doing what's going to stop someone else from coming along and, you know, taking that girl?
Especially emotionally, too. Like, you got to be there for her emotionally. And it's not even like, you know, you're staying up till, like, 2 o'clock in the morning or whatever. Yeah. Even if you do, that's totally fine. I'm just saying, like, a woman wants to feel safe with you spiritually, emotionally, and physically. And you're not going to get that side of her unless, like, you've done the work for yourself, you know? And clearly you've been doing that, bro. So
I think I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Do you think it's so crazy? And again, I ask this because I feel like I know the answer. I feel like I know how you're going to respond.
Yeah.
And mind y'all, none of this is like us sitting down beforehand, like, all right, bro, you're going to, like, agree to, you know, like, none of this. Like, there's a lot of things we probably don't see 100%. Well, no, probably not a lot. Probably, like, a tiny little bit of things we probably don't see eye to eye on. But, like, this is, like, real, like, no shit, like, raw responses. But I want to, I've noticed when you say, like, again, I bring it up because it's a good point. If you weren't like who you are, this person wouldn't, like, in a way cater to that. And do you feel like power or status comes into play at all when it comes into, like, dating? Yeah.
I'm glad you asked this question. So most certainly it comes into play when dating. There's a huge
get
difference.
That zoom in when he said that.
There's a huge difference between power and force, all right? So power is like, I'm just a real powerful guy. I'm pushing myself on you. But force is much more different,
How
and just
so? What do you mean?
So there's a really good book called Power versus Force. And so I actually mixed it, right? And so power is when you are just like strong in general, right? Like when you are just that like big alpha dog. And then force is like the little chihuahua. You know what I mean? Force is so you don't want to be like that, because that's when you're like posturing. And that's when you truly don't even have power. And so what I would say with status, right? I was actually researching this the other day.
Yeah.
And so did you know that we have 3 brains? Right?
Talk about this.
Yes.
I got one here, one down here in this head, one here in this. No, I'm kidding.
Not exactly. So you have 3 brains, right? 4. So you have 3 brains. Your youngest one is your linguistic brain, right? That is where you have thoughts about your thoughts. That's where you make decisions, judgments with your ego,
Mm-hmm.
It is what is listening to me right now. And so your second brain, that is your mammalian brain. That's where you have all of your emotions. Then lastly, you have your reptilian brain, right? And so that is the oldest part of you. And guess what that is deeply concerned with?
Reptilian brain. I would assume something with like power, influence, or how, like, what's better for you, maybe?
Exactly. It is deeply concerned with status and survival. So for an example, say you're going to approach a girl. The first thing her brain is wondering is this person safe, right? And so if you smile, right, you have these canines, right? For apes, when they smile, or not even smile, when they show their teeth, that is showing aggression. But when humans do it, it's showing you are safe. So when you first see the girl, you smile, right? It sends their brain a signal, oh, this person is safe.
Yeah.
Now you send the second brain, right, a good emotion, and then you have a thought, oh, this person is cool. So for that same girl, if you walk up all weird, insecure, if you believe you're not attractive, you're not going to smile, you're going to subcommunicate insecurity, give her a bad emotion, now she's not going to like you. And so status is deeply playing a role in relationships, right? That is why confidence works so well.
Damn.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah, that's pretty wild. That's another the Thor no.
Thor handshake.
Yeah. No, dude, I noticed it firsthand. Is, again, like, if you guys haven't seen the interviews, go check those out. Izzy podcast on Instagram. It is going crazy, bananas on numbers. Anyways, though, I noticed, like, at first, when I first you know what's crazy is we talked right. It was like I recorded my first 1 or 2 or 3. It was like I've recorded my first few. We had talked, and then that's when, after that, I got into my groove of it. You could say, like, oh, maybe it's just coincidental, because, after you do things a few times, you get in the groove of it. But realistically, I remember the thing you told me was, like, you told me, like, raising your eyebrows, right? Like, raising your eyebrows is one of those things that gets people displays, like, what, comfort, or what was
friendship.
Friendship, okay. And I remember I came at it in a whole different light, bro. Like, I would, like, walk up to someone, raise my eyebrows, like a very, like, open hand motion. Like, I wouldn't be closed off. I'd have, like, an open hand motion, like, hey, like, and I would smile, like, hey, what's up? Do you want to be in a
game over?
Yeah, immediately, yes, like, yes, like, like, people would line up. But I definitely realized, like, that like, what you convey to someone else, even subconsciously, like you said, in your 3 brains, right? Like, is this person safe? And those, or are they cool also? And I think those are all messages you give off without knowing it. And as soon as I made a conscious effort to start improving that, it was game over for sure. And I'm not even just, like, BSing. Like, I remember the first few, I mean, I wasn't in my groove. I didn't have, like, a good, But after that, I just started getting confidence. Like, who cares? What is a no?
Yeah.
A no just makes the yes feel even better.
Get in that groove. There you go.
Yeah, bro. And then I was just like raised eyebrows, like, hey, what's up? Like, do you want to be in this? Immediately, game changers. Like, yes, on spot, bro.
You're a natural too. Like, I feel like this is your calling or something.
I appreciate you, bro.
Seriously.
It's definitely like where I feel, more. I don't even want to say comfortable because I get uncomfortable. I feel more passionate, more inclined. Like, this is like my,
That's big, bro. Keeps you younger too.
I think so too. Yeah. Connections, like right here, bro. I'm over here talking to a freaking presidential, candidate eating turkey with gravy.
And by the way, once I introduced them both, I just walked away. They had the best conversation. Like the candidate Nero, he walked right up to us and just talked to him. So you have the power, bro. You have that energy. He walked over to us. You know what I mean? He's just a guy. You're
right there with it, bro. You're right there with it. We're on the same playground. Life's the playground.
Amen.
Life is whatever you make of it.
Amen.
And I mean you specifically, and I also mean y'all. It is 100% what you make of it. And I going back, bro, to that whole like discussion we had about college.
Yes.
Bro, that shit is. I'm just gonna word it like this. If you were, I was listening to Tate the other day. I think it was yesterday. Andrew Tate, shout out. But I was listening to him the other day, and he had like a very, very good point. And he was just talking basically about, he talks about like the Matrix, and what the Matrix is basically, it's like the minds, like you're trapped in this box mindset. He calls it like the slave mindset, but you're working for someone else. You're grinding away for someone else, not for yourself. And I was thinking about it today in the shower. I was like taking a shower. I was like, you know what? We need people like that. I think we need like, you need both sides of the coin. I think you need people that stay in that matrix, because then the people who are trying to grow out of it, they would only have the chance to do it if it still existed. You know what I'm saying? Imagine if everybody, I wrote it in this paper that I had to write, and I was like, there's 1,000,001 great jobs that you need like degrees for, and you have to go learn to do, like doctors. Like, we need doctors, we need surgeons, we need dentists, we need professors, we need, that's debatable. We need teachers, we need people to in society to like push it forward. But on the backside of that coin, you also need the inventors who fuck all like don't have a degree. You need the inventors, people who sculpt their own world for like their own, you get what I'm saying? Like, you need entrepreneurs, you need,
exactly.
And you can only have either of those dynamics with the other. And I think about it even in politics, bro. Like, you have Democrat, you have Republican. Neither side should ever be the only side in office. I mean, we know one side does better than the other in politics. As you can see from the economy now, it is fucked. But
what? I love high gas prices. What are you talking about?
I love
come on, bro.
High gas prices, inflation, anyways. But neither side should particularly be in power. Like, absolutely, I think if that were to happen, I think both should always be like a teetering scale. You can only have one with the other. Really, we shouldn't only have a two-party system, but that's just how it is. But I think with that, like, you can't have the people in life who are entrepreneurs, making shit happen for themselves, not inside that box, if you didn't have the box. And I think vice versa, like, how would society move forward without doctors, dentists, etc.? You know what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying 100%, and I love the way you put it. I actually never thought about how we need people to not break the matrix, or else there would never be a matrix.
Yeah.
So I love how you put that. You're really good at like taking different points of information and putting it in like one.
Appreciate it.
It's powerful, bro.
I think it is true. I have my own business that I manage, and it's tough, bro, to manage everything at once while thinking how I want to expand. Like, the thing is, I grew up really poor, bro. I grew up extremely. There's always someone or has it worse off. So I don't even want to. I'm not gonna act like it was like the worst of the worst. But I mean, I grew up in a not great. I had like the neighbors being raided by SWAT. I had like the gangs around me. I had like electricity cutting off. I slept on the floor, bro. Did you know? I slept on the floor of my apartment till I was maybe 17 years old, bro. You know how shitty that feels? Imagine what that does to like a person's confidence and what it does to like a person's, you know what I'm saying? Like imagine like everybody around you is focused on like their iPhone or their shoes or this or that, and you're sleeping on like the floor, bro.
You got a damn crick in your neck. You're like,
yeah, I know, bro. Like, God, wake up every morning all stiff. I'm like, damn, bro. But nah, man. Like, but it makes you realize nothing's gonna just change, right? Given thought, ideas are absolutely fucking useless if you don't make anything happen out of them, and nothing's just gonna happen for you. It's not the government's fault. It's not the fucking city's fault. It's not your neighbor's fault. It's not mom and dad's fault. It's nobody's fault. It's not even your fault, but it is your fault if you don't make shit happen for yourself. Like at the end of the day, bro, the only thing that moved us out of that shitty situation, I remember I used to walk to work, bro. I would walk miles to work, get rained on. Oh my God. Let me tell you, bro. I was over here whipping up these French fries while I was like drenched in rain. And it was a long time ago, but I remember it like it was yesterday, you know? And I saved up enough paychecks. I gave it to my, I saved up enough paychecks to just move my dad. I was like, I know you are too lazy to move. So either you are staying here and you're going to stay here and this lease is expired. You're either staying here without me or I'm moving here. And I placed a whole down payment, paid for the first month of rent at this new place, hella nice place. And that's how we moved. And since then, obviously, I just realized, like, dude, shit's only going to happen if you make it happen. And that's, like, been my whole philosophy in life. Like, if I want something, like, I'm going to get it. It's not like an if. It's a timeline for me. It's not an if. It's not a hill. It's just like I'm at point A. I need to get to point B. It's a flat line. It's not an uphill. It's not like a downhill. It's just a flat line. But I think, I don't know, man, there's just so much to it. But I grew up poor, and the one thing I took away from it was, like, make shit happen for yourself. And we need people to be, we need people to work these jobs. Nothing to take away from it. Like, bro, doctors, A, make bank, but B, on top of that, like, where would you be if we didn't have, like, a hospital, you know? Exactly. If everybody was, like, a social media star with a business, this, and that, you know, we'd have nothing. And the reason I brought all that up, right, like, my mind is like a constellation, and I'm going to connect that point. But the reason I brought all that up is because now that I, like, do have my own business, growing up poor as shit and growing up without anything, like, it gives you the ability to do all. You don't have money to hire customer service. You don't have money to hire, a tech support line. So guess who owns a business, runs it, customer service, tech support, supply, receiving, like, everything all at once. Marketing is you know? And I think now, I will say this, and I don't know if this will fall on deaf ears or if it'll fall on ears that are, like, receptive to this. I think now, within the next 5 years, is the last time anybody in this timeline, right, of this timeline. And when I say this timeline, I really mean from, like, let's say 2001 to, like, 2030. That's, like, the sector I'm talking about. I think now, within the next 5 years, is the absolute last time, or the last door people will have to walk in before it all gets oversaturated. I got a message today from YouTube about one of my YouTube channels, and they said, hey, congrats, you can now link your YouTube channel with your business. Like, the software I use for my business now is completely compatible with YouTube. I can add my whole website that I own straight to my YouTube channel. I just got a message this morning on the way to the set about it. That's going to go fucking crazy, because already, like, a lot of my sales come from my channel. I see all the analytics. And YouTube, social media is literally an opportunity for people who aren't multimillionaires to market themselves in any light that they want. Back in the day, if you had a product, you had to run airtimes, commercials, advertisements. Now you have to understand Reels. You have to understand YouTube Shorts. You have to understand lighting, music, image. You have to understand all this marketing to cast an image out there. You get what I'm trying to say?
Exactly.
And I think right now it gives the ability for, I don't want to call anybody a nobody, but the ability to somebody who has no exposure now has the ability to become whoever they want. And I think now within the next 5 years will be the last window for anybody to walk into this before it gets oversaturated. I think so.
Why do you think 5 years?
Because I think even now we're seeing such a decline in the amount of people who are the amount of people who are pursuing, let's say, a college degree for a very specific job field. People are seeing, I think we're seeing like a decline of it in a certain age gap of people because these people are, I want to create media, or I want to do this, or everybody wants to be a successful YouTuber, have a podcast, whatever. They don't see everything that goes into it, but everybody wants it. And when everybody wants something, it brings more people into that. You get what I'm saying? And then you have more people that blow up out of it. And I think, I don't know, I think you're just seeing it firsthand that everybody's like, who doesn't nowadays say, I have a YouTube channel. But there's a difference between just having a channel and having a channel. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a difference between like Logan Paul and like, but you see it in the quality, you see it. Anyways, long story short, I think it's the last gap for people to go in before it just gets so oversaturated because everybody wants to do it now, bro. Everybody wants to do it, and it's possible for everybody, but not everybody has the knowledge, the attention to detail for it. You know what I'm saying?
I'm so proud of you, bro. You're in there, dog.
I appreciate you, bro.
Seriously, like literally.
I appreciate
seeing
you,
your growth, your transformation, and knowing that this is the beginning.
I appreciate you, bro.
That's up there, bro.
I hope to all. I hope for every extent of it that it is like the beginning. I hope it's I hope it is like the beginning and not. I don't know. Life happens.
However, you're so dedicated. You're always putting in work. Your content looks immaculate. I mean, you know what I mean?
I appreciate it.
It's there, bro.
I appreciate you. It's a grind, bro. Like 8 hours a day. Yeah. It's really 24 hours a day because when I get an email from like a customer, I have to like, I have a whole support channel set up, but it's like me. So, but they don't know it, so I'm having to be like, I could be in the middle of a workout, and then I gotta be basically tech support, and I'm like, good morning, good morning, Alvin, like, the product that you've done, like, I'm like at the gym working out. It's so funny, bro. But there's so many options now for people to like, I don't know, to make money. I want to say, I think there's so many options for people out there. But the underlying theme of that is that people have to stay in the box for the people who go out of the box to be able to leave it,
You might have to trademark that. That sounded elite. Maybe it's just me, however, that sounded so clean. It really hit home.
I appreciate it.
It's so true, though.
No, I think it is true. I think, like, I hear it all the time. I think we should never have, like, I would hate, bro, like, the masses, millions of people to be like, you know what? I want to do, I don't want to go to college anymore. I want to go start my own business because it's like, competition, But when you're, when you have so many people in the box, it pushes society forward while you're able to work, while they're all moving forward, you're able to decentralize yourself from that, work on yourself, and whatever you want to do, right? While they're moving forward,
right,
you're moving like diagonally,
Someone had to make this coffee.
Yeah, exactly.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Exactly, bro. Someone has to make it, but someone has to have the idea to start the business to make it,
Completely.
And once I word it like that, it makes me like, all right, because Andrew Tate was talking about, like, the Matrix. I was like, damn, I'm sure glad, more people don't listen to him because, damn, like,
Bro, thank God for Andrew Tate.
You think so?
Like, yes, like his mindset, his energy, he's so raw and uncut. Like, that's part of the reason why I'm not really into politics. I do enjoy to learn it and everything. He's just so raw.
What do you that's like, I want to talk about that. What is your, and I think I know your opinion on him, but like what do you I enjoy the fact that people interview him still and are able to be unbiased. I genuinely fucking love hearing someone sit down. Hey man, I've heard about you, but I haven't, like, you know, let's sit down and talk about your ideals. Yeah. What do you think of him? What do you think of Andrew Tate? Like, all encompassing.
I think he's relentless. He's very spiritual, because spirituality is what you cannot measure. You can measure someone's height. You can't measure their will, their perseverance, their confidence, tenacity, relentlessness, being playful. Like, he has just so many intangibles that, you know, he's not the only person that has them. I just love the way he puts it all together. He's about family. He has his brother, you know. He loves wealth, you know, and he's just a great example of what a man could be. He's not perfect. No one is. I just love how authentic he is, and how when everyone is trying to be cookie cutter, say the same thing. All the news channels have the same exact thing. There's actually a really viral video that came out.
Yeah.
You know, all the like news reporters. He's himself.
That was they linked all, for those of you who don't know, they linked all of these big news channels, all saying the same thing at the same time.
60 of them.
Yeah.
50.
Word by word. Like, not like even a buffer. They like copy paste all 60 news networks. And the news now, you know, I look at both sides, right? Like, I'll look at CNN, I'll look at Fox, then I'll look at something in the middle. And it's so opinionated now, you know?
It's terrible.
It is, man. And I read something so powerful the other day. It was actually one of the courses I took, and it was saying be wary of how people phrase things. Be wary of how maybe like media phrases things, and whether that be whether it be a freaking a YouTube video or the news or an article you read, they use certain words in certain contexts. And I was reading an article, bro, about Iran versus the U.S. and during the World Cup, the U.S. photoshopped one of Iranian flag. The U.S. like photoshopped part of it out, like they blurred it. I think it was like their symbol, and it stands for like a free Muslim nation, etc. And I think it was just conceived in a different way. It was seen as like maybe harmful. They photoshopped it out. Me personally, I don't care. But there's a whole article about it, and it went from like Iran wanted the U.S. kicked out of the World Cup. They were like, that is by FIFA rules, it's like a 10-game, like discrediting someone's flag or etc. Is like a 10-game suspension. U.S. still won. Let's go. All right, we still won. But it was. The article went from this informational, like factual statement, and in one sentence flipped the switch about like prisoners of war and like people dying and like Iranian government doing this and that. And I was like, you know, you're not wrong. You're not. But if I'm reading an article about it's the things people don't think about. If I'm reading an article about FIFA, Iran versus the U.S., let's take everything else apart from that. That is what the article I'm reading about is supposed to pertain to. It shouldn't bring up like you know, women being killed and this that. Although I still think it's extremely important to talk about. You see it, and it's just an example of, as you read articles and as you watch the news, they're able to like draw you out to like this like trap, and then just like snare you in it. And you don't see it because, you know, you're in the trap and it's around you, but you don't see it. You know what I'm saying?
I get exactly what you're saying.
I'm like,
what is the purpose of that? Why do they keep trying to bring us back to this point?
Yeah.
What is that? What is the overall goal and purpose?
Exactly, you know? Man. And it's people got to be cautious of that, bro. Because now more than ever, like everything's so opinionated. Like media, like everything's opinionated. Like people get their news off TikTok, bro.
Extremely.
Yeah.
I even heard with China on their version of Google or whatever, they're actually editing. Whenever someone is in a really big crowd, they'll put mask on everyone. And the ones who are not wearing masks, they'll like cut them out to make it seem like everyone is wearing a mask. You know what I mean?
Damn. I didn't. Dude, China's on some shit right now.
Big brother.
Bro, have you seen like they have drones in the sky now spraying like antibacterial like spray, like literal drones. spraying the cities, bro. The people are like confined in their rooms, and the government's coming in and handing them like food trays, like prisoner style. Like, you know how prison you have the slot in the door?
Yeah.
Same thing. And they're all in full hazmat suits. The police there are fully hazmat suited up. Like, there's huge protests. And mind you, protests in China, let me say right now, throughout history has never been a negative thing. I don't think it's nothing like in here. You know, China's government is extremely, like, we're talking like communism. We're talking like extreme
psychopaths.
Yeah, man. And I'm like, bro, they're literally like for COVID, because there's like they're trying to stop like a resurgence. They're spraying drones in the sky. Like, there's drones like spray. Yeah, it's crazy, bro. It looks like a fucking Call of Duty, like Advanced Warfare. It looks like, it's crazy, man. Because China's government is known for using extreme force. You know, like, I don't know, for any of y'all who don't know, their firewall for their internet is so aggressive. Like, if you can't just post something or send something out, all right? Like, I can't just take a video like I can here and send it off to whoever I want. Like, if it's something that's anti-government or this, that, it gets filtered and, like, it's a no-go. People during the whole COVID, I'm going to use the word pandemic. I think it was more so a pandemic maybe in China, not here. Anyways, but in China, dude, they were like they would track you down for posting something. Like, people were posting on social media, and the Chinese government would track you down because it's all geotagged. No matter what, all your posts geotagged, and they would like grab people and put them in camps, and these people would never show up again. Like, now, like, this woman made a whole video like crying, and like, it's so bad, like, the conditions here, and the government is so like abusive and etc. And they literally, the next day, they took her and she was never heard of again. Yeah, bro, it's fucking crazy.
It doesn't even sound real.
It doesn't, bro. It sounds like some fucking, but sadly people are living it. Man. Like,
and it's so amazing when you're in these states over here, USA, and when people literally support socialism and communism. I'm like,
bro, that is,
I almost just want to look at them.
Dude, all right, yeah,
just
shades
like,
off. Just,
are you serious? Were your grandparents not in the military? Where were you in history class?
Dude.
I mean, seriously. Name one society who is socialist that is as big as the U.S., so don't say one of those small European countries.
Yeah, because people say, like, Sweden, but it's a whole different.
Like, name one who is actually successful.
Dude.
None.
Socialism in itself has led to the deaths of more civilians, than it's crazy, bro.
Hundreds of millions.
If you look at Stalin, like, if you look at USSR, if you look at Soviet Union, like, it's literal. You're putting your faith and your entire being into the hands of something higher than you that you can't control, which is the government, right?
Yeah.
Like, your votes, all of that shit doesn't matter. We're in not the only, but we're luckily we're in one of the, nations where you can literally make happen whatever you want to make happen. Despite whatever obstacle, despite race, creed, whatever, cool. You can look at those things as obstacles, but I'm telling you right now, like, at the end of the day, you can make happen whatever you want to make happen.
The American dream. I mean, that's why everyone wants to come here.
Yeah, bro.
There are no movies, no books about going to China.
Bro, facts.
For business, right?
Facts.
Everybody comes here.
Facts.
So,
Dude, there was people, I don't know if you remember when the U.S. was withdrawing from Afghanistan, which was a botched withdrawal.
That hurt me.
Dude.
For real.
It did too. Yeah, it hurt me too, bro. Like, I'm Middle Eastern, and I, like, watched it. It wasn't even that's one of the only times, and it's not even this administration, because, like, I think the U.S. was going to, withdraw regardless. Like, Trump's was going to talk about that too. But in the manner that we did it was so bad. We left millions and millions and millions and millions and millions. I want to say billions. Don't quote me. I'll pop up the number on the screen of dollars worth of military equipment. Fully operational helicopters, like fully operational it was crazy to me. It was literally crazy to me, bro. Like the Taliban, after we left, was flying around army helicopters. They were flying our helicopters, which were left unserviceable, quote unquote, because all they did was break out the windows, which is not unserviceable, let me tell you. But they were flying around like U.S. helos and letting the Taliban dictate control of those talks. And sadly, like there was that bombing that killed 12 Marines. It was like 12 Marines and a sailor. Again, I might be inaccurate on the exact number, but all these service members died. And it wasn't even the Taliban who did it, but the U.S. still allowed them to like dictate talks of, no, you have to be out by this day, otherwise ... you know?
Yeah.
That whole withdrawal, you know, and there's people literally clinging on to the Air Force planes as they were taking off. And these planes were thousands of feet in the sky with Afghani people falling off of the planes, like hanging on the outside. That just shows you, you know, like people genuinely would do anything to come over here, you know?
Seriously. Imagine being so scared that you have your newborn baby and you give it to a random stranger because you know you will never see your baby ever again. But you know that giving your baby to a stranger and when they leave your city, they will have a better life than staying with you. That's pretty incredible.
Bro, that is like,
right?
To think of like giving your child away that you will never see again. You'll never know who they
Random
person. Just to give them a better life. Can you imagine the mental toll that takes on someone? Yeah, people, you know, motherfuckers are ungrateful. That's for fucking sure, bro. Motherfuckers are ungrateful. That's for sure, my guy. Yeah. I think this has all been very, very it's been conducive to, yeah, it's good.
Gotcha.
No, thank y'all so much for listening. Again, smash that subscribe, smash that follow button, hit Izzy's Room Podcast on every platform. We are now on Apple Podcasts. Honestly, it was a long time overdue, but we are there, and we'll catch y'all in the next video /episode. Peace out.